Hey guys, so it's been a couple of days since I filled up the tank. It's already 8,545 miles. It's about 1,000 miles since my last vlog about this, video log about this. So basically, I've already racked in about a little over 1,100 and miles since my last time I talked about this. But to see my stats, basically just driving normally, I am still getting about 209 miles to a gallon according to this Chevy Volt's computer. And I just filled up about a few days ago. Filled up about full of the tank, and then basically I'm getting 161 miles to a gallon since I think 3 days ago, Sunday when I came back from my trip. But basically, I'm just driving locally and driving to work and commuting. So these are commuter miles. So I'm still getting about 161 miles to a gallon. I've used up a little bit of gas, as you can see up there. Probably very little, but I don't know if it understands it very well, because when I actually look at the actual meter, it's kind of strange. It actually has it as I have 25 miles to the charge of 75 kilowatts used. So of course I'm still getting a lot of MPG. Combined it's about 99.5 MPGe, which I think it's a funny number. According to lifetime, it's actually getting about 50 MPG. But it's weird because even though I filled up, it doesn't say any gas used. And this is because the energy used since last full charge, that's the major difference between this and this meter. So this one I actually reset every time I fill up. Trip B, I reset every time I fill up the gas. So that's how I know how much miles per gallon I'm actually using. The sad thing about the second gen Volt is that it doesn't tell you how much gas you actually used. So I'm doing the old fashioned way of basically filling it up for the whole, I think 9 gallons or so on full, and then doing paper calculation of how much I'm using. And this is basically the computer calculation of how much I'm using. It doesn't tell you how much gas you actually used, because on this meter it's only basing it on since last full charge. So long story short, I wish this should tell me how much gallons I used since the last full charge that I used in terms of gas. But it doesn't say that, because since I'm just using the recharging. But overall, here's my stats. My technique is pretty bad. Not pretty bad, but it's actually below average. Like I said, I don't hypermile as much as I do anymore. So I'm driving at about 55 to 65 miles per hour. I also noticed that the terrain is getting bad because of my PSI. So over the past, it's already been about a month or so. Actually, has it been a month? Yeah, it's been a month. So I've noticed that the PSI level. Right now my PSI tire pressure is at 39. Over the past 3 months, it dropped from 40 on cold pressure, even though I've been driving, I'm driving at night right now. But basically, cold pressure, it's at 39, but on day pressure, if I drove it hot during the day, it'll go up to about 40, 41 PSI. But normally I have the PSI set at about 40, I think 42 or so. I usually have 42, so it actually drops about 3 to 4 PSI over the period of about 30 days or so. 30 days to 2 months. Roughly 1 or 2 months, it drops about 4 PSI. So you guys, who are really, really trying to get the MPG up and get the maximum MPG, it's going to totally affect your terrain, right? It's going to affect your terrain and stuff that's on this computer. So this weekend I'm going to probably fill it back up to about 42 PSI. I think if you look on the forums, a lot of people pump it up all the way to the sidewall pressure of 45 PSI or even higher. I don't really think I need that, because once it gets that high, usually I like filling it up high so that I can feel the road a lot better. But too much of it makes the car kind of rough handling. It feels great right now at 39, at 40. It feels everything, all the bumps get absorbed. and yet it's giving me really good MPG. But at the same time, I realized that people on the forums and everywhere else, want to pump it up right to about 45, 48 PSI or even higher, which I don't think I really want to. I'm just going to pump it up this weekend at about 42 or 43, at most by 43. But not too much, but enough to absorb all the weird bumps, but hard enough so that it basically gives me like probably a 2 or 3% better MPG rating. Oil life is still at 65. My total range, it's 330. I realized that what they call a guessometer, because sometimes this EV range isn't really practical because it's very it's guessing, and so is the fuel range. So in the beginning, when I first bought the car, the first month, my EV range when I fully charged was about 63 miles to the charge, and my fuel range was much higher than that because I was driving conservatively and it was trying to learn how I drive. So what happened is that as I drove more spiritedly and stuff and do a lot more driving, and basically once I start driving and my kilowatt hours go right to about 90 to 100, that's when I'm flooring it. I totally love that feeling of all that torque. It's really, really fun to do that. So every so often I basically drive extremely, good acceleration, high acceleration. I really love it. And it's kind of my little Chevy Volt basically kind of realized that, and the guessometer or the range meter and also the fuel range meter has reflected that. It went from I think 65 miles to the EV range at full charge down to about 50 miles to full range charge, or even 53. So I realized that today, after I charged up this morning, as well as my fuel range has never really gone any higher. So the advertised one of getting, like, even with a nearly full tank, of getting 420 miles of fuel range, not going to happen on my watch because the way I drive, I love the car's torque, so I kind of got addicted to it. I've also talked to a few Mustang owners, and they sat in the car, and it was pretty funny when they were surprised at how much torque this little car has. But again, this is going to be my fun car, and I really do love it. Even though it has some other, I usually don't even need to drive in sport, but I really do love the car. It's a really awesome car at 85. This is barely like the fourth month, and I have about 8,500 miles. It's the fourth month. I bought it in June, late June. So it's about 4 months almost. Almost 4 months at 8,543 miles. Anyways, guys, this is a quick update. So the points is that, even at 1,000 miles, I'm getting about 209 MPG. And of course, on my regular 3-day or 4-day commute, I'm still getting 161. Even though I'm using a little bit of fuel, I use up almost all my EV range to get to work, and then and back and charge up. And I usually burn some gas every so often. So those that ask, yeah, basically I really do love the car. I don't use it like how most hypermilers or voted users use it. I drive the heck out of this car. I love this car. But that's really about it. I figure I'd give you guys the 8,500 mark update. Again, the fun part is that my XM radio is completely gone now. So all the stuff, it just doesn't see it anymore. So if you went to, whoops, come on. So if I browse through any of my stuff, it's all gone. So if I went back to home, audio, whoops. Ooh, okay. Under radio, all the XM stuff are gone. They still have some freebie ones that lure you into probably getting more XM stuff, but no, it has previews. So if you look at any of this stuff, let's move this up. All the XM channels no longer have their XM signage, like the Bloomberg and all that stuff. It's all gone. It's all just the XM and the numbers now. So kind of sad. Am I going to renew? Probably not. At the same time, if you wait long enough, they send you the XM mail. They'll call you on the phone in the car to ask you to subscribe. They also send you letters. So I've already received my third renewal letter, and basically the latest offer, the first offer was like what, 1 year for $120 or something like that, and then it's dropped from $120 to about $90 on the second letter for renewal, and then on the third renewal that I got yesterday, it was $60 for I think 5 months or 6 months. So it's roughly $10 a month for XM radio. So am I gonna get it? Probably not. I still don't use it enough to justify paying $10 a month. I think a lot of people would at that point probably do it, but I think if they dropped it down to, let's say, a few bucks a month, it might be very, very enticing to actually buy it at like $3 or $4 a month. But again, I'm being a cheapskate right now and not, and stuff. But anyway, I just listen to public radio, NPR, that sort of fun stuff. Or, it's so easy to use Android Auto or anything else like that. So no big deal. I'm just listening to podcasts and other stuff like that. And most people really don't, will probably pay for it. I think that, it's totally worth it for people who are, especially like truckers or people going long distance and need a consistent radio, for their long haul trips and stuff. Like myself, when I drive up to Northern California, I really do like listening to Bloomberg and those comedy channels. But am I renewing? Probably not. Another thing that fell out of renewal is I think my OnStar too, but my XM is most prominent because I actually use it a lot more. But yeah, the XM is the subscription is over, and my next one that's going to be gone is going to be my OnStar stuff. So my OnStar stuff is still available, but it's almost to the 6 month part, and then I'm going to show you. I'll probably make a video then when my OnStar service is completely gone and see what it has. But long story short, thanks for watching, guys. You guys have been really encouraging and asking me what you guys want to see. Roughly right now I'm just doing Chevy Volts. I used to do a vlog on my Honda Civic Hybrid, but right now it's not, I don't really do as much as I don't have enough time to do this other than, after work and stuff. But I do appreciate it. I love your comments as well as, your suggestions too. So thanks a lot, guys. Have a great one. Bye-bye.